What's $2? Super cheap and contains an illustrated 20 by 30 inch full color illustrated MAD map of the USA. It's the MAD Super Special Winter 1981, and we're here to look at the map. Hi, I'm Darren, these are my hands, and today we do have this awesome map. Here is your super special bonus Sergio Aragonés full color illustrated MAD map of the USA. Guess in which state they have all these things. And this is the cartographer, Sergio Aragonés. You can tell that he's mad because his eyes are nutty looking, his tongue is dangling out of his mouth, and he's got these little whooshy whoosh clouds going around the top of his head. And he's got an atlas under his arm, and a globe over here, and I don't know what this is, some sort of map guide to the USA, National Geographic magazines all over the place. Anyway, there's all sorts of things on these 2 pages that Sergio is saying, hey, see if you can find this on the map. And we could do that, but I think it's just going to be more fun just to take a look at the map. Maybe 2 things that we should just look at before we go straight to the map. And it's down in the corner here. Sergio says, and as for all those little signs that you see all around the place, you're right. They mean peace in different languages. And Sergio is wearing his peace sweater here. And we've got like this pile of all these signs that say peace in all these different languages. And then right here, there's these guys, and they're carrying a sign that says Potter Zebi. And of course, that means peace too, in some sort of language. Look at, this is a cow whose name is Albert. Anyway, let's take a look at the map. And I don't know if you've noticed yet, things are bigger here today because this map is huge. It's 20 by 30 inches, practically 40 by 60 centimeters for metric people. So like 2 pages worth of MAD magazine, 4 pages worth of MAD magazine, 8 pages of MAD magazine. This is super cool. And we're starting where the most important things are. That's right, in Canada. Because what's most important when you're taking a look at the MAD map of the USA is going to Canada. Let's see if I can do this without being too crinkly. So Canada, hockey fights, and fishing from airplanes flying over Lake Superior. Yeah, you're not going to catch fish like that in Lake Superior. This guy's going duck hunting. He's snowshoeing and he's going duck hunting. Here's a Mountie. He's chasing the bad guys. And of course, the bad guys are wearing a flannel checkered jacket. And so he looks like a lumberjack or something like that. I don't know what his buddy's doing. I don't know what they're doing. And I don't know why the Mountie has like just a little revolver with some sort of tube tied to the end of it going around his neck. That's very strange. Fishing up in Quebec. And the bear's going to eat you. Look out. Look. It's Montreal. That's where Expo 1967 was. It's pretty cool. They speak French in Quebec, and they're very high class, and they eat well. You know, totally not stereotypical of anything at all. And what else we got here? Oh, we've got Niagara Falls. Look, there's a guy going over the falls in a barrel, and all these people in the Maid of the Mist getting wet in all the mist coming up from the falls. You know what I love best about the MAD map of the USA when it comes to Canada? There's no mention of Toronto. It's awesome because, you know, why would you bother to include Toronto? Hiking down Canada's highway number 1. Did you know that we have one highway that goes from east to west? And in a lot of this area here, it's just a 2-lane highway, 1 lane going east, 1 lane going west. And, you know, if there's a truck accident, truck hits a moose, that's it. You can't get across Canada. That's what's mad about Canada. All right, here we are. Isn't this beautiful? This is a 2-page thing. And I have no idea how to do this. Should we like start in the west, go to the east, south to north, alphabetical? You know what we should do? Let's do down here first. This is kind of like the little title block here. A MAD pictorial map of the United States. What does this even mean? What does a pictorial map mean? Are they letting us know that this isn't a real map, that we shouldn't use this to navigate around the United States? Copyright 1981 EC Publications, Aragonés. And in the corner, we've got a fireman. Is that Sergio? Yeah, I think it is with his pen. And over here, we've got a mailman, U.S. mail. Is this some sort of parking enforcement person? Is that what that is? A parking meter? Because, you know, when I think of the United States, what is more United States than garbage collector, mailman, fireman, and parking meter enforcement person? That's bizarre. I know nothing about the United States. I lived in the United States for 2 years. I've traveled to a few places in the United States. I'm going to get in so much trouble for not getting any of the jokes or making up my own bad jokes here. What's happening down in Mexico? They're riding the bulls. They're riding the bulls. That's safe. You know what we didn't do again? We didn't take a look at who's on top of this lovely scroll. Man alive, that's a beautiful looking scroll though. Thank you, Sergio, for drawing that scroll. We got a farmer, we got a soldier, we got a doctor. We got a kid watching a soap ad on TV. Look at this farmer has this cornucopia of food, including sausages that he farmed. That's wonderful. This is Uncle Sam. You can tell because he's wearing one of those top hats that has stars on it, and he's holding the American flag with Sam the Eagle on the top, and a construction worker. I don't know why his arm is outstretched and he's poking the police officer in the head. And there's a hippie dude with weed on his shirt. I don't know what's going on there. And she's got a T-square. So what is she? Is she an architect? Is that why she has a T-square? She's not dressed like any architect that I've seen. Not that you have to dress a specific way, but I feel there's something going on there that I'm not quite getting. And a kid with a calculator. Oh, that's good. Kids in the United States like math. This is a big map. Have we done that? Okay. I know a little bit about Minnesota. And I know that they have sled dog races right here in the Grand Marais area, up here by Lutsen in the northeast tip there. And look, Paul Bunyan, when I was a kid, I went to some fair. My parents took me to some fair, and there's a gigantic Paul Bunyan and Babe the Ox. And look, they have like Vikings, because Minnesota Vikings. And goats. Are these goats pulling a chariot? I don't know what that is, but I bet you that's some sort of word for peace. Maybe it's in Finn. That's not in Finn. And you know what? I've been to South Dakota. South Dakota was so cool. I like South Dakota a lot. We went and saw Mount Rushmore. And look at, there's a guy carving something on Mount Rushmore. And we went to the Corn Palace. Is this the Corn Palace? I think that's the Corn Palace. I've been to the Corn Palace in South Dakota. We also went to Wyoming, to Devil's Rock, and I thought that was an amazing place, but we didn't really go any further than that. I think there's Custard. Is this Yellowstone? Yellystone? Jellystone? Yellowstone? Hey, P-A-C-E. Bet you that's peace in some other language. And look, there's a jackalope. Oh yeah, and look, a spaceship. Come down to Devil's Rock. That's neat. And look, it's the Mad Blimp. I've been to Montana. Montana was a lovely place. I don't know what's going on here. Looks like they're having a Wild West battle. It's probably not a good thing going on. Is this guy throwing cow poop? Is that a thing that they do in Montana? Throw cow poop around? I hear Idaho's where you get potatoes from, and Washington is where Microsoft is headquartered, and also grunge music and geocaching. They found a submarine off the coast of Oregon. What is this thing? They're doing some sort of whitewater rafting. That looks dangerous. Don't do that. Ooh, and a rock balancing on a thing? That's great. And it's also the moon in Idaho. Nevada's where you go when you want to get married, right? And when you want to gamble all your money away and see dancing girls. You know why I'd want to go to Nevada? Because I'd want to go to, is this it here? Yeah, Grand Canyon and Hoover Dam and all that stuff. That's what I want to see in Nevada, or maybe in Arizona. I'm not sure. I've flown through Colorado before. They have a very nice airport. I think I'd like to go to New Mexico because I like caves. Caves would be good. Oh, and didn't they explode bombs there? That's probably what they did. That's what New Mexico's all about. Oh, look, it's West Potter ZB. Did you know that that was in Arizona? I did know that they have the London Bridge. They took it down brick by brick and shipped it over and rebuilt it in Arizona. I've heard of that. Do they have pyramids? That's amazing. And in California, they have a Los Angeles. I've been there. I wonder where Ouija. I can't pronounce it. Oija. California, north of Los Angeles, where Sergio lives. Hey, look, that looks like maybe Hebrew script for peace. Is that shalom? Is that what that is? There's a hippie with a guitar on his back. And there's that bridge, that very famous bridge and streetcars. This is San Francisco. San Francisco. That's what that is. See, I'm a smart Canadian who knows things about the United States. Let's keep going. Let's go back this way. Have we done all of this? I think so. And we've done that. Good. Texas. There's a big sign that says Moxie on it. And you know what? I've seen Moxie written in Mad Magazine on Sergio drawings before, and I'm now sensing that that's a thing that he does sometimes, and I don't understand what it means. Please enlighten me in the comments. Is this the Alamo? Why is there a statue of Popeye here? That makes no sense to me at all. They play football in Texas, and the king rides a horse. The king of Texas. Did you know that Texas has its own king? Right there. You learned it first. Cadillac. There's Cadillacs buried in the ground. I know there are. There's a bunch of them. It's like Cadillac-henge. Oklahoma, where the wind goes rustling through the things. Kansas. That's where the geographic center of the USA is, in Kansas. They have tornadoes like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz in Kansas. And Abraham Lincoln rode through Nebraska in a cart carried by a horse. That's right, the horse is carrying the cart by the corn. Bet you they never taught you that in history class. Now you know. This is Albert the Bull from Iowa. Iowa has balloons. I would love to go on a balloon ride, and apparently this is where you get Quaker Oats from Iowa. I've been to Wisconsin many times. They play football in Wisconsin, and their football team is called the Cheese. That's right, they're called the Cheese. The Green Bay Packers, that's what they are, the Cheese Bay Packers. And this is the Upper Peninsula, and it's actually really nice. And they have like a rocket launching range up there. How come Sergio didn't draw that? There's no way that you'd be able to skip a stone from the Upper Peninsula across Lake Michigan and... Wait, is this Michigan? That's Michigan. Across Lake Huron and in through... Is this Georgian Bay? You couldn't do that. Sergio's lying to you there. But they do have tires here because that's where they make cars in Detroit. And there's a lot of Scottish people that like to pole vault. They don't grow cherries in Michigan. Maybe they do. I've been to Illinois. This is where Abraham Lincoln is from. And then he took his cart across Nebraska. You knew that, right? The Blues Brothers are from Illinois in Chicago, and so is Superman from the Daily Planet newspaper. And gangsters. There's lots of gangsters in Chicago. Of course, that's what Chicago's known for, gangsters. And Indiana is where they race cars for 500 miles or laps around a racetrack. And Ohio is where they have gigantic snakes under the ground. They're actually worms, and this is where they filmed the movie Dune in Ohio, and you're mandated to keep your teeth in a glass. And Pennsylvania is where Susan B. Martha Washington she didn't knit it, she sewed the United States flag. And 2 Mile Island, was this like in 1981? So 2 Mile Island would have melted down like maybe the year before. So that's why I'm guessing Sergio drew those 2 cooling towers. North of Pennsylvania, where there should be chocolate chips, there is New York State, which of course is the home of the player piano and where you come to get married. Because everyone gets married at Niagara Falls. See, it's all coming full circle. And Woodstock happened here. Remember Woodstock, that wonderful musical fair? And you skate in Vermont, and you live free or die in New Hampshire when you're getting your maple syrup. And I've been to Maine a few times. Maine is a lovely place. And I was driving from Maine into Quebec, and turkeys flew across the road in front of my car, and I almost hit a bunch of turkeys. True story. Moose. And the Pilgrims landed on Plymouth Rock in maybe Massachusetts, and that's where Al Jaffe's from. Did you know that Al Jaffe is from that place? That's Rhode Island, maybe. Connecticut is much longer word than the state is. And I don't think there's too many sharks out there, but maybe there are. In New York City, you can buy a hot dog. That's all. Delaware is very small. And this is Maryland. Oh, that was exciting for a second. But I bet you in between Maryland and Virginia is where the District of Columbia is. And that's why your White House is there, United States. Virginia, Mountain Mama, Take Me Home, Country Roads, Hatfields and McCoys. Did we already do Kentucky? No, we did that other Kansas state. See? Did you know that the first McDonald's was built in Missouri? I didn't know that, but St. Louis Arch is in St. Louis, Missouri, and these are the light bulb head babies on balloons. Arkansas is where you dig for diamonds. And Mississippi, you have the riverboats. Ever been on a riverboat, Queen? This is Snidely Whiplash, and this is Elvis. You can tell because he's got eagle wings on his arms, and he's holding a guitar. And in Louisiana, they have dancing frogs and Mardi Gras bands, and they shot up not Thelma and Louise, Bonnie and Clyde in Louisiana. And if you just look in the Gulf of Mexico, you will see that, oh, look it's the White Spy. He's coming to Florida, presumably from Cuba? Maybe? Cuba's around here, right? And in Florida, of course, that's where Don Martin lives. You can see he's on the beach down here on the Florida Keys almost. And where's Walt Disney World? It should be around here somewhere. You don't need a fur coat. That's why she's angry, because she's hot. And, of course, the clowns and elephants live in Florida. So look out for that. Scuba diving. And, oh, yeah, rocket ships. Look at that. They don't blast off in those kind of rocket ships anymore. And when they do it over here in Texas. We're almost done. Tennessee. Nashville, Tennessee. That's why they're singing. This is the Grand Ole Opry and Dancing Peas for some reason. And Fort Knox, that's what's happening in Kentucky. Did we already do Kentucky? No, we did Kansas, and then we skipped over Kentucky because we were coming from Virginia and West Virginia. So all that we have left is North Carolina, which is where Kitty Hawk was, and that's where the Wright brothers first flew their plane, maybe. And in South Carolina, textiles, that's what they like in South Carolina. And Alabama is where they have peanuts and mosquito statues. And to finish things off, Georgia. I've been to Georgia. What do they have in Georgia? What are they doing here? They have cans of gas? And Girl Scouts? Maybe the first Girl Scouts were from Georgia? And the King of Horses. Oh, Pogo. Pogo lived in a swamp in Georgia. And this is the chicken. You grab a chicken in Georgia because that's what you do. Did you know that the King of Horses, that's not really a horse, that's a mule. And the King of Horses is in Texas with the King of Texas. Anyway, this is Sergio Aragonés' Mad Map of the U.S.A. And it's spectacular. And there's more on the back. I'm going to show it to you now because I'm probably never going to get back to this thing. California, Hollywood. See, this is... I have no idea where we are. If this is California, is this the whole thing? San Diego Freeway. I presume that this is Los Angeles Airport because here is Walt Disneyland. I presume that... Oh, this is Los Angeles, not just California. See, they surf, and there's Catalina. That's where you get the salad dressing from. That's the Capitol Records building. This is Hollywood and Vine, and this is where they make movies, and I think Sergio lives up here, kind of where they play tennis. Okay, over here, this is New York City, not to be confused with New York State. You can tell that this was in 1981 because the World Trade Center towers are still here, and King Kong's stupider brother is on the World Trade Centers, and he's getting yelled at by his older brother, King Kong. This is a robber because in New York City you have robbers, just like in California you have surfers, tennis players, and movie folks. That guy's picking up dog poop. And this person is selling hot dogs. Hey, look, it's Bullwinkle J. Moose. I'm glad that he's included. And here are the mad offices. Look at that. This is where the money is made. That's where Bill Gaines counts the money. There's Sergio. And there's the Mad Zeppelin again. Wow. And there's Al Jaffe again. I'm not going to tell you everything that's on this map. Look at this is Alaska. You know that it's Alaska because it's right by the USSR. And in Canada, the Mounties are here chasing their moose into Alaska with axes. And here come the beavers. Which way to the polar bears? No, he's hitchhiking. That's what he's doing. Okay, what is Alaska all about? There's oil in Alaska and a pipeline, and they dump it into the ocean, of course, because it's the 1980s. And totem poles, and they don't have pretty waitresses. They've got beer-serving guys with patches on their eyes because that's just how it is. Look at it's Alfred E. Newman, it's Sergio Aragonés, and other people over there. Okay, last thing. At the bottom of the map is the Hawaiian Islands. Oh, with a hula dancer and another surfer and a ukulele guy and a pineapple harvester. And look, it's the Mad Zeppelin again, because that's awesome. And look, there's a bottle that says Moxie. Oh, no. I'm going to look it up in the comments. Somebody will tell me what's going on there. Aloha. That means hello in Hawaiian, not peace. Honolulu is the biggest city, and this is 1981, so I don't expect to see Magnum PI. But lots of surfing, lots of pineapples. That's Captain Cook, and he's getting hit in the head. And I think that's how Captain Cook might have died. Did he die in Hawaii, or did he die in Australia? I know nothing. See, I told you, and that's why we've got this mad map to teach us these things. And this is the volcano goddess up there, sitting on the plume of volcanic smoke. So what'd you think of that? It is super special. Sergio Aragonés' Mad Map of the U.S.A. Hey, if you like these kind of things, like Sergio drawing maps, I know that you're going to check out this video next. Please make sure that you click over here to subscribe and do all the other good things. And if you're the type of person who doesn't know your north from your south, the algorithm thinks you should watch this video next. Take care, everyone.